Are you looking for a camera that's easy to use and takes little to no experience to operate? Are you a parent, a friend, a sibling that just wants to gift a camera to somebody else? Or do you want an all-around camera that doesn't break the bank? Well, let me show you the Sony ZV-1F. And as of shooting this video, there's a full kit that is under $550. Now, don't get me wrong, $550 is a lot of money, but I think this may be one of the best bang for your buck cameras that you can get and you can start creating content right away. So let me show you what's included in the kit, the camera features, and its practical uses. And before I begin, this video is not sponsored. I bought this camera, this entire kit, out of my own personal money, and so these are my honest opinions about the camera. The Sony ZV-1F camera kit is actually pretty impressive. If you purchase the kit, it comes with its own camera bag, 2 batteries with a charger, a 64 gig memory card, a small tripod with flexible legs, making it easy to mount on anything, an SD card reader that you can plug into your laptop through a USB, an HDMI cable, a cleaning kit that has an air blower, spray, and a cleaning cloth, and finally, a memory card wallet holder. Basically, if you buy this kit, you don't really need to buy anything else. Everything comes in this kit, and you can start creating content and documenting your life. Now, when it comes to the Sony ZV-1F camera features, this is a point-and-shoot camera. What do I mean by a point-and-shoot camera? It is a compact, easy-to-use camera that really takes no adjustments needed to where you can just take your photo or your video right away. And that is exactly why I recommend the Sony ZV-1F for beginners with little to no camera experience. The Sony ZV-1F has a fixed lens on it. What do I mean by that? This camera lens is fixed directly onto the camera body. So you cannot remove this at all. It is stuck on there and you cannot change the lens. Compared to my Sony ZV-E10, which is a different camera, you can actually remove the lens and swap it out for another one to create different kinds of shots. So I'll put this one back on, as you can see, and going back to the ZV-1F, you cannot take the lens out. The benefits of having a fixed lens on a camera is its simplicity and its small form factor. Honestly, you can just pull this out of your pocket and you don't have to think too much, even at all, about the lens features or changing any settings. Now, honestly, the downside of having a fixed lens is that one day, if you wanted to upgrade your camera or your camera lens, you would not be able to with this camera. Because honestly, a lot of the quality of your image comes from the lens. And that is why people buy a camera body that has a removable lens so that they can always upgrade in the future and have a better quality. So that is one thing you're going to be sacrificing with this camera, is that you would not be able to swap out to a different lens. With that, this lens is a wide angle lens at 20 millimeters. Basically, what that means is that when you point this camera to yourself, it will capture you and a good amount of the background or the environment around you, which is great for vlogging, which I'll talk about later in this video. Now, with this lens, because it is a wide angle lens, you can actually zoom in still up to 1.5 times, which gives you a little bit of versatility for your shot. Another feature that I think is great on the Sony ZV-1F is its flip out screen. As you can see here, you can flip the screen out and you can actually rotate it up and down. So when you point the camera to yourself, just like this, you can actually see yourself on the screen, and you can do this for vlogging, or if you just put it up on a tripod, you can see exactly what the shot looks like without having to go behind the camera and looking at the screen. The feature of the flip out screen is great to pair with the flexible tripod that comes with the kit, because all you have to do is that you just have to attach the camera body to the tripod and you can start vlogging and point the camera to yourself. And you can either do that by handheld, meaning that you are physically holding onto the camera in front of you, or you can mount the camera tripod onto anything and you can kind of stand further away and capture more of your entire body or more of what's happening in the environment. Now, let's talk about battery life, because it's super important. And when you're carrying a compact point and shoot camera like this, you're really bringing it around with you everywhere you go, especially if you're going on a trip. So each battery lasts about 60 to 90 minutes long. The great thing is that with the camera kit, it comes with 2 batteries and a battery charger. All you have to do is that at the bottom of the camera, you just flip out the tab, you put in your battery, and also this is where you can put in your SD card. You just have to push it in to insert and push it again to take out the SD card. Now, honestly, what I do recommend is that if you're gonna be taking this camera with you on a trip and you're going to be using it the entire day, on and off, I would actually recommend that you buy multiple other batteries, because I don't think that 2 batteries is going to last you a very long time, especially if you're going to be out in the sun or different weather types. It may actually drain your battery a little bit more. So the 2 batteries in the kit is great, but I would recommend that you buy more. Okay, before we get to the practical uses of the Sony ZV-1F, I want to show you a couple settings that I would change when you first get this camera in your hand. All right, so when you turn on your camera, try to make sure you are on the video mode. And to get it to the video mode, on the top of the camera next to the on and off button, there is another button that you can see that there's an S&Q, a video, and a photo mode. Just click it until you get to the video mode. And from here, click menu, and you can see that there's colored tabs on the left side. Starting with the top one, which is a star, you want to get right below it for that camera. And from here, on the first tab, it says image quality and recording. You want to go to that and go to file formats and click on XAVCS at 4K. This is going to allow you to have a 4K resolution because the HD is 1080p. 4K is just going to be a better quality when you're using the camera. From here, go back and go under to movie settings and go to record frame rate and click on 30p for that. So you're recording in 30 frames per second. Right below that, go under to record setting. Click on that, and you want to go to 100M 420 8 bits. This is just going to be a better recording setting and higher quality. From here, if you go back to your menu and you go all the way to the left, you can kind of scroll down actually to the yellow toolbox and go all the way down to where you can see the setup option, which is number 12. From here, you can see record lamp, press that, and I would actually recommend to toggle that on. Now, what that does is that when you have it on, when you press record on your camera, you can actually see a blinking red light in the front of your camera so you can see whenever you're recording. Now, whenever you want that off, what that basically does is that that red light does not turn on anymore. The reason behind this is that let's say you are recording a reflective surface and you don't want to see any blinking lights, then you just turn it off. But what I would recommend is that you have that light on the whole time. Okay, now let's get to the practical uses. How do you actually use the Sony ZV-1F? Well, the first one is called vlogging. Vlogging is documenting your life through video. And again, for under $550, this camera is a great video camera. Like I mentioned earlier, this can be either handheld, where you're physically holding the camera, or mounted on a tripod where you get to show the environment and yourself. There is no right way or wrong way of vlogging. The beauty of this camera is its simplicity. It fits in your pocket and you can easily take it out and start vlogging in less than 5 seconds. The second practical use is taking photos. Now, like I mentioned earlier, when you turn on the camera, next to the on and off button, you can toggle between video, photo, and S&Q mode. On a side note, S&Q mode is for slow motion video. I'm not going to get into that right now. I just want to focus on keeping this simple. So video or photo. Just keep clicking that until you get to the photo mode. And you can know which mode you're in from the front of your screen because you can see on the top left in green, it can either show a photo, a video, or S&Q. So once you're in the photo settings, point your camera to something and half press the shutter button. Make sure that you're not on the red record circle on the top. And when you press this shutter button halfway, it will actually focus on whatever is in front of it. You'll hear a noise and the small brackets in the center of the screen will turn green, and then just click the shutter button all the way to take the photo. Now, the third practical use for the Sony ZV-1F is to actually use it as a webcam, whether you're in a Zoom call or any other conference calls. Now, let me first be honest and say that the HDMI to micro HDMI cable, which normally you can connect your camera straight into your laptop with, did not work. And I don't know if it's a defect on the actual cable, but that is one downside that you could face if you buy this kit. And instead, I'm actually going to use a USB-C, which the camera has a USB-C port in it. and connect that USB-C into your laptop if you have one on your laptop. The downside of that is that this kit does not come with a USB-C cable, and instead it comes with the HDMI to micro HDMI. So if you happen to buy this kit and your HDMI cable doesn't work, you might have to buy a USB-C cable, which is an additional cost. Okay, so I'm gonna switch over to my laptop screen right now. As you can see, I have the Zoom app opened. This is the webcam from my MacBook Pro with the M3 Pro chip. Honestly, not the greatest, but also not the worst quality. From here, I would plug in a USB-C cable from my Sony ZV-1F and on the other end into my laptop. Immediately on the camera screen, it will prompt several modes. Click on the top option for live stream USB streaming. Then I will mount up the Sony ZV-1F above my laptop screen. From here, I just go down to the video options on Zoom and the camera will pop up as Sony ZV-1F. And as you can tell, the quality compared to my MacBook webcam is just way better. And now you can show up to your conference calls looking nice and clean. All right, so that's the Sony ZV-1F. Again, who do I think this camera is for? Well, for the most part, I think this is a really good compact point and shoot camera for beginners, whether you have absolutely no experience with the camera. I actually gave this to my wife and she just started to use it and she started to figure it out and was able to use it right away. But also I think this is great for those who have a little bit of experience with cameras and you just want something super small, compact, and lightweight that you can use as a secondary camera whenever you're out traveling or you're going to do some behind the scenes footage. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. On the screen here, you can see 2 videos that I made. If you wanted to watch it, one of it is my top camera accessories for 2025, and my other one is my talking head camera setup. And if you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.